And we're live. Welcome, everybody. This is the PAPAJO Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. Welcome and appreciate you guys being here. Looks like we got Tom in the chat. We've got Bitcoin management. Oh, I'm sorry. I need my glasses on. Man, I was up late working on building some NFTs and working on a couple other things as well. So glad you guys are here. And let's get into it today. So I was looking through a bunch of different things around what's going on today, and I ran across an article. I'll show you guys in here in a minute that kind of stuck out to me and made me go, "Huh, I got a point. The world's about to have one of the greatest wealth transfers it's ever seen." That's an understatement. And it's going to involve crypto significantly and how we actually look at what's going on in the world of crypto. You have to think about how many wallet addresses there are at different levels and different crypto, Bitcoin specifically, holding in those wallets. So one of the things I was going to show here real quick, we'll bump it to that. In the end. So, but before I get to that point, I wanted to talk about Bitcoin. Looks like we're heading towards another run very much like 2013. I kind of mentioned this a little bit in the past couple of videos, and been looking at this over the past few days. Bitcoin is hitting markers that are very similar to what it was like in 2013. They're calling it a double bubble here. It's not really a bubble. It's a free market. Free market's correct. They're supposed to do that. People are supposed to take profits. They're supposed to earn the money that they have, things like that. That's the way it's supposed to work. So when the markets go down, they go down because people are earning or taking the profits that they have earned or waited for. So in 2013, we had a rise of, looks like 1,750%, a little bit over that. So you get from $75 to, it looks like, just over $1,000, almost $1,100 in a very, very short period of time. I think it was about 6 months. Do the math now. I haven't done it yet, but I'm curious. I actually don't know if I want to do it yet. Bitcoin could easily hit $5 trillion market cap in 2020. Easily. I actually think they point that out here. Yeah, they do. They point it out right here. And the reason being is because the amount of money that will inflow into Bitcoin in particular, once you hit $100,000, the FOMO will be off the charts. People will go and they'll buy and they'll be like, man, this must be a real deal if it's hitting $100,000. They've been saying that for years. This must be a real deal if it hits $10,000. This must be a real deal if it hits $5,000. You do realize that the Dow is like $30,000 something dollars, or it's been up and down in that ballpark, right? Like think about that. You have one asset, and then you have a Dow, which is a collection of assets. One asset hits way above the price of collective assets. You need to realize that with cryptocurrency, in particular blockchain technology-based currencies, blockchain technology-based projects, these projects signify freedom for humanity. We get to decide what we go do, not the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., not the so-called elected officials. They're not. They don't get to decide what we do. We do. We're the people. We're the ones who give them their ability to write the laws and whatnot, stuff like that. So, what do you guys think is going to happen when Bitcoin hits this bump that we're going to get? And now, I'm not saying we're going to have that 1,700% increase here. What I am saying is that whatever the number is, it's going to be big. It could be, 500%. It could be 1,000%. It could be 5,000, 10,000%. I don't know. The amount of money that's going to inflow into crypto is, in particular, Bitcoin, is massive. There are a lot of people saying that there's going to be a flipping of not just Bitcoin, or there's going to be a flipping between Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think I have an article up here somewhere about that. Yeah. So a lot of people are kind of curious to see if Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin. I think it probably won't. It's not a currency. It's not a store of value. It's a blockchain platform that's been monetized. So it's a business effectively. I think that you look at Bitcoin, I hate to call it this because it's not, but digital gold or store of value. It's not really digital gold. It's one of those assets that you need to realize has a store of value and it will last over time. Why a lot like gold is, but it's not. Ethereum is not like that. Ethereum is, there's not a fixed supply. Ethereum is a blockchain platform that other blockchains build their or use it as a launch pad to build all the other platforms we have today. All the NFT platforms, all the banking platforms, all of the DeFi platforms, those are all, most of them started on Ethereum. Now, sorry, give me some coffee here. By the way, thank you to my lovely wife for bringing that to me a moment ago. It's fantastic that you did that. I really appreciate it. Love you. I think that you're gonna start seeing Cardano, EOS, even Polygon. Even though Polygon is designed to enable Ethereum, I think that platforms like that will start to take market share away from Ethereum. Not the other way around, where Ethereum takes over market share of Bitcoin. Now, I say that with a caveat, tongue-in-cheek almost. Ethereum could rise significantly in price in relation to Bitcoin. I don't think it'll overtake it, but businesses, hedge funds, money managers, they're looking at Ethereum as a cheaper way or an alternative way to get into crypto with able to get a bigger bang for their buck. And that's fine. And they're looking at Cardano and other ones the same way. EOS as well. So you've got a whole handful of different cryptos right there, or blockchain platforms that can easily do the same thing Ethereum's doing and do it way better than Ethereum, right? So EOS started on Ethereum, but they launched their own blockchain years ago, and that's back when I got into it, right? So there are other platforms like Cardano where you've got the two founders of Ethereum working together, and they split off and they started working on their own things, right? So just something to keep in mind, that Ethereum is a blockchain platform. It is not necessarily an actual cryptocurrency. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again just for technicals here. A cryptocurrency is a limited supply, usually proof of work. Not always, doesn't have to be, but it's limited supply. Its only design was to create a means of exchange between party A and party B, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. Bitcoin was designed that way. Litecoin was designed that way. Anything that's designed specifically only for a means of exchange, that's what it's for. Now, you look at Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, those types of platforms are monetized tokens or blockchain platforms. They are built so that you can go build a smart contract and build a business or a platform inside of that ecosystem, and then hopefully launch your own blockchain out of it, and you're on your way running your own company. That's very, 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 very similar in how that a business goes and build out a project. They'll start somewhere, and then they'll build it, and then they'll launch it. Okay. Those are the differences between the types of blockchains you have and then the types of platforms you have between the two. You got monetized tokens, and you've got cryptocurrency. It's a currency. It's for a means of exchange. You can spend and trade and use Ethereum, don't get me wrong, or Cardano or EOS or any of those. They're fine. But you got to understand what you're spending and what you're using. Basically, when you spend Ethereum, it's like spending the stock of the Ethereum platform. That's how I look at it. If I spend a Bitcoin, that's spending money, currency, etc. So let's go. What was the other one I was going to talk about here? Yes, this one. So if $1 million Bitcoin price were to be achieved, which I think is actually possible, but again, going back to the whole inflationary of the currencies, you got to realize that when we get to $1 million Bitcoin, what are you going to actually value Bitcoin in? How many bars of gold and silver you have? How many houses can you buy, etc. Things like that. Those are our mindsets are going to change. It's not going to be in dollars. The dollar's dead. You don't want the dollar. It's going to be how many Bitcoin will it take to buy a house, or how much of a Bitcoin. Think about that. It'll be Satoshis. I think in the future that people will work an hour of their life for a few Satoshis, or even one Satoshi, which is the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin. Anyways, so they do a really good job in this article here explaining how the amount of Bitcoin billionaires will meet and exceed the current billionaires in existence today. So when it exceeds, it's going to flip, right? You're going to have more Bitcoin billionaires than you are going to have actual billionaires who have, in the fiat world. Once Bitcoin hits $100,000, you're going to have as many Bitcoin billionaires as you are going to have traditional billionaires. And the way they did that math is actually pretty simple. The amount of addresses with more than 1,000 Bitcoin in them at $1 million gives you approximately 2,393 billionaires. So that puts you at, there's currently that many addresses right now. I mean, that's going to grow for sure, but that already, if you hit $1 million per Bitcoin, the amount of billionaires will supersede the amount of actual traditional billionaires in the world. This is going to happen, folks. We're going to see a flipping. People who are getting into crypto right now, you, me, other people we know and love, they're setting themselves up in life and their families' lives for generational wealth that will be transferred down to them if you set it up properly. That'd be a discussion that I would do on my Patreon show, which, by the way, scrolling down at the bottom here, click that link or go to Patreon, search the Papa Joe Show, sign up. It's $5 a month. I do that to keep the trolls out, and because I'm going to have exclusive content on there that you're not going to see anywhere else. I'm talking interviews with folks. I'm talking in different projects, things like that. As the channel grows, those types of things will start to take place. So go ahead and get your front row seat and help support the entire effort at the end of the day to make that kind of stuff happen. So I really appreciate it. Anyways, cryptocurrencies aren't going away anytime soon. You got digital assets. Genesis Digital Assets obtained 20,000 Bitcoin miners. Okay, the ecosystem is starting to re-decentralize. What China did was great for the Bitcoin economy, where they tried to ban the Bitcoin miners. It didn't do anything. They just turned them back on. They're back on now, folks. The Bitcoin miners that were turned off in China, they turned it back on. Like, okay, we'll turn them off. Time goes by. No, they're back on. You can look at the different Bitcoin mining addresses and see that the ones in China are starting to turn back on. Looks like my mic is loose here, so sorry about that. And I was saying that because the amount of mining power is now redistributed around the world. So that was a good thing, because what it did is that China could not eventually get to the point where they can have 51% of the hashing power, therefore doing a 51% attack on Bitcoin. Now it's more distributed across the world, and that's never going to happen. I wanted to point this out because companies are investing major money, $125 million. You got to realize people are taking their money that they're making, and they're making major investments into cryptocurrency and the cryptocurrency ecosystems. I've said it in my past shows. They're trying to build regulations around this stuff. Good luck. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. And I've said it before. If you're anyone in the legislature, you'd be wise to talk to someone like me and learn what regulations make sense and what do not. The majority of them don't, because it's a self-regulating system already. Blockchains are self-regulated systems. And let's see. Oh, yeah. This was the other thing I was going to talk about. Sam Bankman. They acquired a CFTC license for their Bitcoin exchange. That to me signals some maturity in the area. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you. I've been saying it. I'm going to continue to say it. Let me switch back here. This stuff that we are in, this cryptocurrency, is life-changing, and all of you already know this. For those of you who are just joining and those of you who are just starting to subscribe to the channel and whatnot, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, EOS, in general, this is life-changing technology. This is life-changing capability for humanity to free itself from the confines and constructs and red tape that government has strapped on the people. Okay? You need to understand what is going to take place in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, is going to shock the world. I actually think I actually am going to probably be surprised myself at how quickly things ride up. You know, I'm sitting here going, conservatively, things will start moving up in mid next month. You know, oh well, actually that's tomorrow. So in a couple of weeks, we'll start to see things kind of start to really tick up for Bitcoin. But I think that, you know, October, November, somewhere in that ballpark, you're going to really see Bitcoin's price majorly run up. And here's why, in my opinion. Businesses have been using their running capital all year long. Anything excess they have at the end of this year, I think they're going to dump it into cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, EOS, those kinds of platforms that are designed for real world use cases. They are going to run those. They're going to take any of their excess capital towards the end of the year, especially towards the very end of the year. So that way, the end of Q4 for the different businesses, for the different hedge funds, for the different money managers, they're going to take that excess capital and they're going to dump it into cryptocurrency. Two reasons. One, it's going to protect their purchasing power for the future. And two, it'll ensure that they have a working capital for next year, because at this point with the stock market, it is teetering on a thread. What is it called? A balance beam, whatever. You know, it's thread. It's tiny. It's thin. It's literally about to just crumble underneath them. And they realize that, and they're starting to say, okay, if we can just hold on. And more and more money is moving into USDC. There is a ton of money sitting in USDC and Tether and other US supposedly dollar-backed or based cryptocurrencies that are going to take that and they're going to move it into these other cryptocurrencies, but they're going to hold off until towards the end of the year, which is I want to say, let's see. So yeah, the end of Q3 is September, right? So for most businesses, other businesses, they do it at different time frames. Q3 going into Q4, they're going to significantly start to move their excess cash, because they're not going to need it. They're going to take care of their bonuses and whatnot. They're going to take care of their employees and all that fun stuff. And then they're going to, anything's left over, because it's already, everything for the end of the year is already paid for. Anything that's left over, they're going to move into cryptocurrency. They're not going to necessarily reinvest it in their business. It's excess cash, right? So all that stuff's already been done. All the leftover stuff the money that they would have, they're going to put it into crypto, in my opinion. So I say all that because we're moving into a time period that the world's never seen with any kind of asset class. You've got government trying to tax it. You've got government trying to regulate it, and they don't understand. I mean, I've been in the blockchain space since late 2011. I've been in IT and technology for 20 years. Some of it, some different categories less, some categories more. You need to understand, I'm seeing this not just from the technical perspective, but also the monetary perspective. Now, everything I say on the show is not financial advice. It's not legal advice, tax advice, etc., etc. These are my opinions. Hopefully you're using this to educate yourself and then go find what you want to learn in other categories as well. You need to understand, the world's never seen this before. Countries, actual entire countries, are looking at cryptocurrency and blockchain technology to remove themselves from the dollar, from the world reserve of the dollar, and free themselves from the constructs that has put on them. Our government is freaking out because they can't do sanctions if the other countries do this. If a country decides that they want to make Bitcoin the means of exchange, like El Salvador, they're going to drop the dollar. Do you understand what that means for El Salvador? They have a limited supply of currency that is only going to increase in value the more it is used. That means the people in El Salvador will be able to buy more with less. As a matter of fact, I'll bring this up here too. Where was it? Yeah. The Democratic Assembly approves a $150 million Bitcoin trust for El Salvador. They're not playing with small amounts of money, folks. $150 million for El Salvador is a lot of money. That's a lot. You need to understand, we are coming into a time period that, again, the world has never seen. The world has never seen this stuff. And it looks like I'm starting to glitch again. I have another system coming in, so I will have that fixed hopefully soon. But it is what it is at this point. I got a fan blowing on it. So, anyways. Yeah. Lost my train of thought there. Oh, well. I guess I can leave it at that. Join the Patreon show. Go to patreon.com, search for the PAPAJO Show, and sign up. Again, it's $5. It helps me be able to produce more of these. It keeps the trolls out. That's really the only reason I did the $5. It's more than anything to keep the trolls out so that I don't have to deal with anyone coming in and bashing anything I say or do. Also, it gives me the ability to talk about subjects in a more subject like some of the stuff we're talking about now, crypto related, but also I can go into different subjects on Patreon because I'll use the YouTube platform, but it will be an unlisted video. Because it's unlisted, it's not going to cause any problems. And the only people who will see those are you folks, those of you who have signed up for that. So share it out, share this video out, like, subscribe, get more people on here. The more people in here, the better off it is for me to be able to do this. So again, really appreciate you all. And I will have a Patreon show at 4:30 today. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, you guys be blessed. Thanks.